low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the...
Don't miss Fight Night. Every Tuesday night, Will Morgan and Josie Haney break down the hottest topics of the week across combat sports, including UFC, boxing, WWE, AEW, and more. Past episodes are available on youtube.com/The Sports Report Podcast, and each episode will air again Thursday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. Don't miss Fight Night. Tune in or tap out. Put the kids to bed, put on your shades, and crack open a cold one during Sports Report After Dark with Seven and Dan the Dick Warner. You can catch After Dark Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/The Sports Report Podcast, and again Saturday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. We believe that athletes are people too, and Skip Bayless is one of the lizard people. Don't miss Sports Report After Dark.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hardwood with Daniel Dick Warner. That's me, and Stacks. I'm going to go ahead and bring him in today. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, sir?
Good. Not much. I guess what we would say, right? Not good. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, we're alive and breathing, so that counts for everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. Did you ever watch the Game of Thrones franchise? Did you ever watch
I
that
did
show?
watch that, absolutely.
What'd you think?
Oh, it was great. I loved it. Odor, man. Odor.
Hodor,
Hodor.
Hodor, Hodor.
Hodor.
That's
No doubt.
awesome. Yeah, I love how they tie that together. I'm just watching it for the
Absolutely.
second time right now, and it's
Are you?
just
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah, you probably picking up on some things you didn't realize the first time around. That's
a
usually how
bunch.
that occurs.
Right, a bunch.
Yep.
Yeah, and like it's cool to watch something the second time just because you like. It's actually better for me to watch something when you know what happened at the end of it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird because you wouldn't think so. It's like, oh, I want that initial, I want the initial shock of it all. But that's the second time
Right.
around, it's pretty good show. So this is not a show about Game of Thrones, guys. Unfortunately.
Either way, man.
Either way,
it
right?
connects Game of Zones if you're on Bleacher Report. That used to be a thing. So
It was.
It was.
How long did that last?
Up until that last season, I'm pretty sure, and then they cut it off. So
It wasn't long. That's for sure.
no, it was not. But
it was not long.
It was some good stuff, though. I'll tell you.
Did you? I never watched it.
Yeah, I did. There was some stuff like way back when Dwight was with the Lakers and Kobe, and it alluded to Dwight being soft back then. So yeah, it made for some comic relief.
Really? It was an animated show, wasn't it?
It was just like little 2-3 minute little excerpts within the Bleacher Report app, and they were fantastic.
Wow. Yeah, the little they were it wasn't like a full show, it was like clips.
Yeah, no, not at all. It was just like it was like a little 3-minute thing, and they put NBA teams in situations that were similar to the show, and just kind of made a parody out of it. It was good stuff.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to check those out because I knew it was on, and I like didn't even get the pun for a second because I don't think I had seen it. I don't think I'd seen Game of Thrones at that time, so I was like, Game of Zones. I don't understand. And like,
absolutely. No, I
get it. They tied it in. Gotcha.
They did. We're
gonna be we're not gonna be playing zone. We're playing straight man tonight. We're not doing that fucking half court bullshit. Actually, you know what? 1-3-1s in the NBA probably not that bad of an idea, especially if you're playing the Lakers.
No, definitely not.
You're playing the Lakers.
Playing the Lakers. Yeah, especially with that offense.
Just pack the zone. Just pack the square, and you're good because you're
set.
Nobody's shooting from out there.
Not
Taylor Horton Tucker showing up in the highlights again this week. Did you see that?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. His dunk. Where was that
at? I can't quite remember where it was, but he's playing some ball right now. Like we said last week, a bunch of miscasts dudes, and he's out there playing. He's got a little more freedom. So
right, that's what I'm saying. Is like, where was that with the Lakers? Never saw any of that.
Yeah, no, and they were all over him. Saying he was supposed to be the next nice piece for him, but it didn't quite pan out. But I guess it's the Jazz that reap the benefits of that one. So
I see a lot of like Tayshaun Prince.
Yep,
and him just with the long arms and everything. And we're also going to hit up. Just on that note, we're also going to hit up the best 3-and-D. Stacks made the greatest. I asked him last week, like on the air, to make like top 5 3-and-D guys, and Stack comes out with the absolutely. I think it's an impenetrable list of. I don't know if you can touch that. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, and I meant to text some friends today, but I saw on just kind of Googling around, people were putting honorable mention and even in their top 5, Klay Thompson. Do we categorize Klay Thompson as a 3-and-D?
I don't think Klay Thompson is a 3-and-D guy.
I agree. I was just curious what your thoughts were on that. I think he's a little bit more than he does a little bit more than just 3-pointers. In my estimation, and things of that nature. I just found it interesting that people placed him on that list in their top 5, and then also honorable mention as well.
Well, that's going to be the hardest thing about it is because I think that you classified him really well because like they have to just like 3-and-D guy, like everybody who's watched the NBA probably knows like where that categorizes a guy. Like it's literally almost got to be like they play really good defense, and the only thing they really do offensively is shoot the 3. So like, you know who I would put as honorable mention, who's like kind of fits it now, is PJ Tucker.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. PJ, modern day, absolutely, 1000%.
Right.
You
So
know, especially what he did in Houston for sure. You know, back with James Harden and those boys. Yeah, definitely 3 and D for sure.
I don't think that he would qualify in the top 5 though. I think that your top 5 is solid.
No, 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 not top 5 all time. No, but I mean, you know, if we're talking, you know, last few years, you know, he's up there for sure.
I mean, even the 2 that I threw in at the end there, because I had kind of been working on a list. Like I threw Rashard Lewis and Rasheed Wallace, but I think even those 2 guys wouldn't classify almost just because I think they did more. Like Rasheed Wallace was a 20 plus a game scorer for a while, you know,
Yeah,
so I feel like
absolutely.
he did more.
And that's kind of what I thought. I guess we didn't hit on that in our little chat or in our little message there. But yeah, no, I would agree. I think he was a little bit more than a 3 and D guy myself.
And Rashard Lewis, I think, is a little bit closer because that's kind of all he was known for. But I don't know if Rashard Lewis's defense was that great. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if he always put 100% max effort.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. You know, maybe with the Dwight Howard Orlando Magic era, I could give it to you, but outside of that, I don't know.
So let me tell you guys, this is Stack's all-time top 5. I wish I'd have made a little graphic for it, but we'll just read them out. And this is not in any order, but this is the top 5 3-and-D guys in the NBA history. So Danny Green, love it. Obviously, a couple championships. Was a huge glue guy piece on a lot of those championship teams. Shane Battier, love it. With his weird cornrow things in his hair. I told you about that. They're not his non-hair,
Absolutely.
like his crunchy head, or his scrunched up. Weirdest thing ever.
Creases. Yeah, you're right. It was like a bulldog. You're absolutely.
It's so strange. Yeah,
so
like
weird.
What did he have? He had like head fat, like skull fat.
Yeah, I guess you could categorize it as that.
Super strange.
It's very interesting.
That's what we remember about Shane Battier's illustrious career is his weird skull fat. Kyle Korver, who I love. I actually met Kyle Korver. Because in Fall City, where
that's right. They had those camps, didn't they? And he came down.
Yeah, Creighton basketball camp. So his senior year, I believe I would have been like a 6th or 7th grader, and they have that basketball camp where the Creighton basketball team in Omaha, Nebraska comes down to Fall City, and they just do like and it's more just like showcasing. Like they talk basketball, but it's more like just, hey, there's guys that play for Creighton. Like you watch them do drills and things like that to learn the right way to do it or whatever. And Kyle Korver, dude, is a senior in college, and this guy, I caught for him. I basically returned for him for a second, just like catching ball. This motherfucker, dude, just stand right underneath the basket. You don't need to. You don't need to go anywhere else because those things are going click, just, and he's shooting from everywhere, and I'm just hitting him in the pocket. And I was like, that was the coolest thing to me when I was like 12. I was like, dude, this guy is fucking unreal. And 6'8", and just coming out and like all these like young kids are like just like impressed by his dunking and everything because he could just clearly just go up on a 3-man lace and just go up and just dunk it.
Absolutely.
Clearly not one of the most athletic guys. Like he was one of the least athletic dudes in the NBA most of the time.
Oh, for sure. Yep, no doubt.
And he was a freak. Yep. He was an absolute freak, and that was when he was young.
It was.
But Kyle Korver, number 3. So Bruce Bowen, number 4. I think he's got to be up there as far as like probably in that top 2 or 3, right? I mean, that's got to be one of the guys.
Absolutely. You know, those runs with the Spurs. I mean, you got to put them right up there. Yeah, well, very pivotal piece. You know, alongside Tony Parker and Manu and even some of the earlier Spurs Spurs teams as well.
Pop loved him. Just the tenacity on defense and everything. Pop loved him, and he was a corner 3 guy a lot too. He got that corner 3 down.
Definitely in the corner. Yep.
Which is one of the most. It's one of the weirdest shots, like in basketball, basically, because not only is it shorter in the NBA, it's shorter. Not a lot of people know that, by the way. Like not a lot of people know that the 3-point line in college is different than the NBA. So I didn't know if anybody.
There's definitely a difference.
You can see it if you look, but like nobody ever sees the 3-point, like unless they're playing in an NBA arena and they have the the college one on there for some reason. You can't really you don't really know how much longer it actually is because it is decently longer. But the corner 3, hard to master. PJ Tucker seems like that was his weird thing is like he wasn't a shooter for a while.
No, not at all. And then all of a sudden, I think he kind of had to adapt with the time and where he was at, and he perfected it for sure.
Did a great job. You got nothing but respect for that dude. And talking about playing with tenacity too. I mean, I mean, what does that dude weigh? He's probably 6'5", 280. Just brick shit house.
No fear whatsoever. I remember, the battles in the playoffs there with Kevin Durant, and he was locked down on Kevin Durant, and not many people can do that for sure.
And just playing physical and like getting in his head and everything.
Yep.
So
up in your grill, man. That's where he lives.
Number 5, the most interesting one, Robert Horry. And
yeah, absolutely. A little bit before my time, but as far as memory goes, but
right.
But definitely one of those guys. Another key staple to not only the Spurs but the Lakers as well.
And how much of that has to do with the fact that he was Big Shot Bob, like that he hit those big shots in the clutch moments? Like, do you think if he doesn't have the 7, because he has 7 rings? So if he doesn't have the 7 rings, like, do we even? I mean, we don't talk about Robert Horry. He's basically, Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah.
Like,
correct.
Right. He's basically just like a guy who was okay. He was above average. I've literally heard dudes say that he's like one of the top players of all time. And I'm like, guys, you guys are just you're prisoning the moment there
a little bit. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Pump the brakes.
You're remembering the shots a little bit more than probably than the whole overall of his game as well.
Right. Because if he doesn't hit those big shots, there's no, and like the reason he hit a lot of those big shots, like if you go back and watch him, it's because he's fucking wide open.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he's wide open.
Yeah, because you got Shaq, you got Duncan, and those dudes. You don't.
Right.
Of course, you're gonna be open.
And Kobe, and like, there's just like Kobe, he's just like nobody's gonna be guarding him at the end of the game. Like it was always like, oh, they know they're going to Ginobili and Parker and Duncan and
because D-Fish, D-Fish and those dudes, and he'd get it in the, and then move the ball, and D-Fish would find him.
Right. That big Western Conference Finals one, the one that a lot of people remember, would have been 02 or 03, I think. He's just trailing the play, trailing the play, top of the key, and just gets a kickback. I mean, because nobody's even paying attention to him. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, oh shit, Kobe, oh shit, Shaq, and just close in.
And then it's oh shit, wait, we gotta account for Big Shot Bob.
Right, because he apparently has ice that runs through his veins. Because he just pulls didn't go over fucking 70, just trailing the play, jogging,
steady Eddie there.
Yeah, doesn't give a shit. Like, I mean, that's the guys. That's the guys that are the best at the clutch stuff, though. I mean, they just don't think it's any different.
No doubt.
Like Alex Bregman. Did you watch? I mean, you watched some of the baseball playoffs, I'm sure.
A little. Yeah, for sure. Yep. What I could catch. Yep.
Alex Bregman, the Astros third baseman, dude. That guy he just doesn't look like he's ever in a situation where it's big time. He's coming up to the plate. Yep. You're looking at the situation. You're going, fuck, they're down a run. Bottom of the 8th. He's got 2 guys on with 2 outs. Like anybody else in that point, you're going to see a little bit of at least nervous in their eyes, right?
Yeah,
but like
some sort of a twitch, a little bit.
I always call it they're serial killers. I'm always like, those dudes are straight serial killers, dude, because they just don't.
Yep.
Nothing brings their heart rate up. They just, and I think it's a lot because Alex Bregman's been there. And he probably just slayed a fresh victim the night before. He slayed some hooker there in Houston. So he was good and relaxed. His hands weren't shaking or anything like that. But that was the top 5, and I thought that was a pretty impenetrable top 5. I thought that was a good list.
Yeah, for all time. I agree. I thought it was pretty good, and I was curious what your thoughts were. So I think it was. I think it ended up being a nice little list there.
I honestly can't think of any. I honestly can't think of any other dudes who should be in there or would be honorable mention. Who were the other names they were throwing out for honorable mention?
There was one guy I didn't write it down, so I kind of forgot, but it was like way long time ago type of dude.
Okay.
So I didn't write that down, but for the most part, the list that I saw, it was a lot of those guys, and it kind of, it reminisced. And then, like I said, they hit on some of the newer guys. PJ Tucker was in there, obviously. That they did mention that in one of the articles I read. And then honorable mention was Klay Thompson. So.
Right. And fuck, you said a long time ago, the 80s is probably a long time ago for you.
Yeah. No, it was way before that. I think it was like 70s or something like that.
Tony, what's up, buddy? Tony asked, how long did the Nets
up?
tolerate struggling Ben Simmons before moving on? What do you think about that, Stacks?
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. I had something come up over the old Instagram today, and it said Brooklyn Nets are growing frustrated with Ben Simmons' availability. So the coaching staff and players have been concerned about his availability and level of play, and kind of like what we talked about last week, question his passion for the game. So
I mean, at this point, does he even want to be there at this point? Like, is there,
or does he even want to play basketball at all? I think that's the real question, Dan. I think that's the question that needs to be answered.
I think
totally honest.
That's basically what I'm saying is like, does he even want to be in any building, not just in the Brooklyn, which is a fucking dumpster fire. Let's be honest. Like that franchise is a dumpster fire now.
Yep, it's definitely on fire. And then you also had, of course we had rumblings like this, obviously throughout the summer and then in through, the early part of the season. But there was also another report that said the Sixers have asked about Kevin Durant, which at this point, again, who hasn't? But at the same time, there was hesitancy because the Nets are a little put off because because of the whole Ben Simmons thing and because they feel like they were set up to give away James Harden in that deal. So
really, what do you think they mean by that? I
think with that, I feel like he kind of forced his way out, obviously. And so, and I'm starting to wonder maybe the Nets didn't know all the medical stuff that they thought they did. Obviously, we talked about it last week. I think a lot of it was mental for him, but it just goes to show that I think, they feel like they didn't get what they thought they were going to get out of Ben Simmons. And so now they're a little reluctant to work with him again, which in a way it's like good for the Sixers, man. You got James Harden out of the deal. So that, right. To me, I feel like it's a little bit of pettiness, but because they thought they were going to get Ben Simmons, right? The Ben Simmons that they had been seeing, and that just hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and the more I think about it, I get what they're talking about with the setup thing because, they're just saying like they think that the Sixers knew more about like the whole situation than they were letting on.
Absolutely. Yep.
And Harden shouldn't have been a part of that deal if they would have told him the whole story, right? So like, but that shit happens with every trade.
With
that shit
everything.
Like Brooklyn's just being petty about shit. Yeah, they are just being petty about shit.
Yep. That's the way I kind of looked at that one. But again, it's been it's been 7 games now that Kyrie has been out for the Nets. I know there was a report by Woj today with a Woj bomb, but this was also what I read from Chris Mannix that he posted in Sports Illustrated. Watch, and then also, like I said, Woj said this too, but watch for Kyrie on Sunday potentially to come back and play. So I guess we'll see. The Nets are 4-3 right now. With Kyrie out. They did do it was interesting. Bleacher Report did an exclusive with Kevin Durant, kind of asked him a little bit about this summer, the trade request, why did it happen, things of that nature. And it was so funny because last week we mentioned about the Bill Simmons podcast and kind of what Nash's former teammate had said about how maybe he didn't have full control of the locker room and things of that nature. And yeah, right. And so, and basically it delved into more information as far as, KD said, hey, look, man, like I wanted to practice and it seemed like all Steve wanted to do was do shoot arounds and things of that nature. Like I want to be challenged. Like I'm here to better myself and then and things of that nature. And Jock, who now took over for the Nets, is more willing to do more practices and make it more intense for those guys. And, it was so good because it was like KD was like, okay, so I have all these dudes and you just think because I'm out here on the floor that we should be winning games right now. And that's just not the case. Like
that's not how it works.
that's not how it works. And it wasn't even like a knock on the roster or anything like that. He's just like, it's just amazing to me how people just think that just because I'm on the floor, I'm going to be able to propel them to, heights, the heights we need to be at. And
those are LeBron James standards. Not everybody gets held to LeBron. Nobody gets held to LeBron James standards.
Nobody
Actually,
gets held to LeBron
nobody
James
gets held
standards.
to LeBron James standards.
Nobody.
We're not even going to get into that. Anybody who just rolled their eyes, we're not even going to get into that. All right, we're not going to get into that.
Just kidding.
Seven rolling his eyes, but no, nobody gets judged at that level.
Not at all.
But Durant being in that conversation, he does get judged on that. He doesn't get, obviously not on the extreme level that LeBron does.
Not on that same level, right?
But he's basically just saying, like, I get what he's saying. I'm like, but I've never heard LeBron say that, and like, oh, I got all these guys. I can't go out and win every game, because that's what standard he gets held to.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just shows you the clear separation of those kind of standards. But yeah, that's interesting that you said that it was because the practices weren't hard enough. Because I had heard the opposite, and it was like, that's strange, because I had heard the opposite very early on. They were basically saying that, like,
and it was also interesting because he kind of even peeked into, like if you see something wrong on film, fucking call me out on it. Like I want somebody to hold me accountable. And so, and again, that goes to the thing that Rajah was talking about on the Bill Simmons podcast of, maybe he just didn't have, that type of personality to be able to call those guys out. So
Canadian guys are super nice. They are super nice dudes. And Steve Nash seems like he is
you
a
want
super
some maple
nice.
syrup, eh?
Hey, going to AA, eh? No, he's saying like he's going to AA.
Right.
No,
right. Yeah,
like,
I got it.
But like it's a Family Guy. It's stupid.
There you go.
Yeah, but Steve Nash seems like he's a super nice guy.
Oh,
and
definitely.
And the way that D'Antoni coached too, like that was kind of D'Antoni's thing, is like D'Antoni was kind of just, stay back in the back, like I'll run my system. And that's more of what I do as a coach, is like kind of my system is, he wasn't a raw guy per se by any means. And I think that was a lot of where Nash is probably getting his
style.
his style from. And like, which is weird though, because I guess he was before Carlisle. That was Don Nelson. Was the same way. So Don Nelson was the same way. Implement your system, and then just don't be the guy who's up in anybody's face. And KD probably needs that, to tell you the truth. I mean,
I mean, how many people are probably sucking at his wing all day?
Just
like you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. He's probably got yes men all around him, and when it comes to the game, he takes it serious. He's like, hey, like I'm here, like I want to learn, I want to get better. And it was interesting because it even kind of went into like, everybody kind of expects him, but like holds him to a standard of like, man, you got to win championships, because obviously we're a championship mindset society. And he was just like, look, dude, my legacy is what these younger guys are going to pick up for me when I leave. How is this going to help? How is this going to help Cam? I believe it's Johnson on the team.
Cam Thomas.
Sorry. Yeah. Cam Thomas. Yeah. How's this going to help Cam Thomas 10 years in year 10? What's he going to pick up from me? And I've been able to play with Russ. I've been able to play with KD. I've been able to play with Steph, Clay, and I've still been me this whole entire time. So that's my legacy. So
absolutely. And that's interesting, because he did the same thing. I mean, he took stuff from all the guys that he had seen, like Dirk. That 1 foot step back move is Dirk Nowitzki's signature move. And Kevin Durant actually made it better, and he puts it within the rest of all of his other offensive arsenal, which is just craziness. I mean, the guy's probably, in my opinion, Kevin Durant is probably the greatest scorer. I think him and Jordan are probably right there per styles, and obviously that's apples and oranges, because it's just such a different style of play. But like, I think just for pure scoring the basketball, I don't know if there's any two better than Jordan and KD.
Yeah, again, I'm a big KD guy, so it's probably a little biased, but I mean, if we're being honest, no, I mean, he's definitely on my, he's in that top two for sure.
I don't think it's even arguable. I mean, like like if you want to open it up to maybe a third guy, I don't even know who that would be though. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and we're not even talking like we're not talking shooters. We're talking scorers here. We're not, you know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
it's not like it's not like Curry or where we're talking like greatest shooter. We're talking just pure scorer.
Scoring the basketball any way that you
absolutely.
can, and you can do it all different sorts of ways. I think that those two have to be the top two. I don't know if there's anybody like per era. You could honestly, I'll take like a James Harden, or James Harden or a Steph Curry or a Steph Curry just because of the shooting. Obviously, Steph Curry is hands down the greatest shooter that's ever played in the NBA. If anybody wants to come on here and debate me on that, I will fucking crush you with statistics. It will literally just be like it's not even. And I don't think anybody really argues it at this point. If they do,
and I don't even think people that he's passed have argued. I mean, you think of Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller calls him that, and I mean all those dudes know who it is.
There's a dude that does YouTube videos about, and he like, it's a white dude, and he always does like he just impersonates like different players. Have you seen the one of Steph Curry training? Is fucking hilarious. Like he's always chewing on the mouthpiece, and like he's just out there like just doing he like runs all like
and he's out there and he's got like the form down and everything, and just like perfect. The mannerisms. It's fantastic.
It's so perfect. He does great. He does great LeBron ones too. His LeBron ones are so fantastic.
Those are fantastic.
Like the bowed out feet when he's running and shit. Like it's fantastic. That dude is fucking good too. Like he's really good.
Yeah,
like,
and the amount of time you have to sit there and study that to be able to, and rehearse that, and
right, and to be that, like he's clearly an actual basketball player. Like he plays basketball or did at some level. Like he's clearly
at some point. Yep.
Yeah, and like to be able to have the athleticism to just copy that is fucking fantastic. On top of the fact that it's hilarious.
Or like Russ, I think he's done Russ too, like Russell Westbrook, and some of that stuff's fan. Yep, that's good.
He's done Kobe, where he does that. He bites on the jersey, like he puts the jersey in his mouth, and like he's always down on his knees and shit. Yeah, that's great. We'll have to figure out what that guy's name is, because we got to give him props. He's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't think of his name or what his channel's called, but
I don't think he even puts his name on there. I think it's just like the video.
Or what the channel's called itself. Yeah.
Yeah, the video is just like entitled like whatever, but yeah, those
whatever
are great.
The player is. Yep.
Yeah, just go to like Steph Curry imitation on YouTube. I guarantee it's one of the first ones. Fantastic. Yeah, that guy's awesome. But yeah. No, that was a great list. 3-and-D guys. Cheers to that one. Yeah, you did a great job on that list. I just figured during this show, like, so I figured, because this is our third show now.
This is show number 3, but 2 with the second with us kind of going back and forth like this. Yep.
And I was just thinking, like, per the style of the show, I've been thinking a lot about the philosophy that we should use, and I think, and I don't give a fuck if anybody else agrees with it. I think that since we're both kind of like, we're very like NBA nerd style, like we like the statistics and we like all this, like we just did our first segment, we just did the best 3-and-D guys of all time. Like some people don't even know, like a general fan doesn't know what that would entail, right?
What that is, what that takes to be.
I figure we just take our strengths, which are clearly that we're nerds about it, and we just do nerdy shit, like, because my take on it is like there's somebody else is gonna had said anything that we're going to be able to do like an honest, analysis over. Like we do show once a week. Like we're absolutely going to have some fresh takes on stuff, but like, is it going to be any different than any other like basketball show? Do you know what I'm saying? Like any mainstream basketball show, if we don't just do what we would want to do, you know what I'm saying? So like, I think we
got to be authentic to it. Yep.
So for everybody, we're just having a philosophy on the show meeting on air, just live right now, so don't worry about it. We're just gonna do that. No,
that's what we do.
Another story, like we talked about right before this. Benedict Mathurin. Is that how you say it?
Benedict Mathurin.
Mathurin. Okay.
Yep. Absolutely.
Rookie. Rookie 4. It's not the Pistons. That's Jaden Ivey.
No. Who's he play for, Dan?
Oh God, you're gonna kill me with this. Hang on. Is it the Pacers?
No. It is the Pacers.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah, Indiana.
It is. Indiana.
Okay.
Yes,
jumping to number 1 on the Kia NBA rookie ladder on NBA.com. Past Paulo Banchero, who's only not number 1 because he's out right now. He's got a calf injury, I believe.
Yeah, actually, number 2 is Jaden Ivey right now. But yeah,
Jaden
for
Ivey,
sure,
yeah.
Jaden
So,
Ivey would be number 2. Yeah, but yeah,
Matt,
Paula hasn't been playing anyway.
what have you seen of Benedict Matherin's game that you think is put him in number 1 right now?
Yeah, he's he's one of those dudes. To me, I think his shot has gotten a lot better since Arizona. He's been shooting the 3 relatively well. Granted, it helps that that you got those guards over there. Trying to think of what that old boy's name is over there with the Pacers.
You got
The,
Tyrese Halliburton,
yeah,
Chris Duarte.
Halliburton. Yep. Duarte and Halliburton. I meant Halliburton. Halliburton's a stud, by the way. But yeah, no, I think it's definitely developed. Granted, he's coming off the bench right now, so he's not necessarily starting. So I think he's able to get out there with that second unit and really be effective. And he can definitely drive it as well. But I definitely think his 3-point shooting is definitely developed since
And
Arizona.
he is taking the bulk of the shots off the bench right now for them. I mean, he's just basically their second team go-to. I mean, he's the go-to guy.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
6'5" guard, like Stack said, from Arizona, was one and done. Good. I mean, good look. Like he looks like he's older than 20 years old. He's only 20 years old. So he looks like he's a little bit older as far as like maturity body wise goes for the NBA, which is a lot of these dudes' main thing is like they don't understand that like their skill set has to match them being strong. Like they have to be strong. Like it's a much more physical game than the college game is, along with being obviously a lot of other things that are more difficult. Like, but I think the number one thing that a lot of these young guys don't realize is like how much harder it is physically. And
well, especially with the amount of games and everything too, Yeah,
I mean, you're playing almost 3 times as many games. If you make it to the playoffs, you are playing 3 times as many games as you played in college.
Absolutely.
So that off the bat is just that off the bat's ridiculous. That's 3 college seasons in one. So and he hasn't played that much, obviously one and done. He probably played 27, 28, 30 games at Arizona.
Yeah. Yep.
So that jump, and it's so impressive because that jump from high school to college is huge. It's huge skill-wise in any sport, really, especially in the United States. And then college to pros is the bigger jump. Like you would think like you get a little bit closer to the pro game in college and things like that. Like the skill level goes up and it's like kind of close to playing in the NBA. From what I've heard from all these guys is basically like, that is not true. Like it is so much bigger of a jump from college to the NBA.
It's not great. The speed. I mean, I've a few years back, I mean, granted, it's one thing to watch it on TV and obviously you notice it, but man, when you go and watch it live, I went and watched the Western Conference Finals in Oklahoma City, KD's last year. And boy, I'll tell you what, man, it takes 2 strides and Westbrook's to the hoop, man.
Dude, I was just gonna say that. I was gonna say the same thing. I was like, when you see it live, it is so much different than what you think it is on TV. Because I actually think on TV it looks like they're moving a little bit faster. But you're exactly right. The thing is, like, it's actually about the fucking like their strides, their footwork is perfect. Like, and these dudes are all so huge that the court looks smaller. The court looks way smaller. There's not as many lanes and stuff like that you think there is. Like it looks like they're all spread out because you're getting a fucking overhead view on TV, or you're getting this overhead spread out view. Like, oh, that guy's open. Like it's not like that. Like these guys are close up. Like it is, like it's crazy live. Like that was shocking to me how much different it looked because I had watched so much NBA on TV before I had went to a game live.
What was your first game?
I went to the first game I went to was a preseason game. 2000
Kansas City?
18, yeah, at the Sprint Center in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yep. It was the Mavs and the Bulls. That was Dirk's second to last year with them. And it was awesome. Like they basically closed that game like with the starters and everything, like with like 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Because Dirk didn't play like the last 7 minutes, right? I had my Nowitzki jersey on and everything. And it's a Bulls home game. Sure. Because Dougie McBuckets played at Creighton.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, it was in Omaha. It was in Omaha.
That's right. I forgot.
Was it Leeds Center where they play the Final Four?
Either that.
I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called now.
Verizon Center. I can't remember. Yeah, but it
was the Quest Center for a long time. I don't know.
One of those gigantic corporation names. That's what that place is called. A gigantic corporation arena. But yeah,
I just went to it too. I should know it though. I went to the Post Malone concert. I should remember that.
But did you really? How was that?
Yeah. Oh, that was so solid. That was before he fell and broke his ribs.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So yeah,
did he finish that show?
He eventually came back out and finished it. And then what was the other one? Yeah, and then I just saw like a picture on Instagram the other day. It goes to show what happens when you're actually moving around and not just smoking bowls all day,
right?
Because of COVID. Because he's out there looking fit now. He's kind of chunky when it started out because that was kind of the beginning of the tour, and he's definitely slimmed up.
Well, that was kind of like the beginning of his like rise to stardom was during COVID, wasn't it? I mean, he was like he would do all the videos and stuff, and
right.
I didn't know. Like, I love hearing about his story because it's hilarious. Like, he was just like, yeah, I just kind of just started writing songs. Like, he has no like previous training basically or anything. It's just like he was just like, I just knew what sounded good. I just started doing. I was like, that is
White Iverson, man. White Iverson got him on the map, in my opinion.
That is the greatest story of like up and coming. Like, yeah, you can just smoke weed and drink Bud Lights and just fucking like just make it to the top. Like just not do shit. Like just not do shit. Make because you have talent. Like that's just that's a story of just talent. Just being like
not only that you can charge whatever you want for merchandise too. It's $50 for a t-shirt. Absolutely.
Yeah. Just oh god.
For
yeah.
Sure.
And everybody's getting a cut of that across the board.
No,
and everybody's buying one because you're at the show. Like it's a show specific usually, so it's like, oh, I was there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right. Anyway.
Yeah. No. Post Malone, and he does that weird meh thing with his voice all the time.
Yep.
Like natural effects. That shit's
natural
awesome.
Effects.
He was just smoking bowls. Like, hey, this kind of sounds cool if I do this. Like, man, they were like,
and it was right, and it was so great during the end too, because obviously we're in Nebraska, right? It's Omaha, but people are literally just not only are women throwing in bras on stage, but they're also throwing in like big fat doobies, man.
Just dudes. Yeah, and I bet the roadies after the show are just picking those things up and just smoking this shit. Like Post Malone probably didn't smoke one of your guys' joints, just so you guys know. I understand that it's obviously a move of respect. It's like the old respect move. I understand that, but like he ain't smoking none of your weed, guys. He's got his shit from Colorado, Arizona, where the fuck he's going.
Yeah, Cali, whatever. He's got the pick of the litter.
I'd be scared as shit one of them was laced with something. Not gonna lie to you. I'd be like,
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
probably has PCP in it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't trust that these days. No,
probably has PCP
ever
in it.
For that matter. Yeah. Definitely.
But I mean, don't tempt me with a good time. Like to smoke some PCP from time to time. No, but
Dan's always down.
I'm always down with the PCP. Did some right before I got on the show. You guys can't tell. No, I just pick up my desk and flip it over. No, we're gonna go ahead and we're 45 minutes in already. It didn't seem like 45 minutes.
It did not.
I'm going to go ahead and run some ads here real quick if I can figure out how to do it. I'm going to run some ads real fast, and we'll be back in probably about 2 minutes. So let's do some.
Hang tight, kids. We'll be back.
Hang real tight there, kids.
Wrap up your Monday with some laughs. Make sure to join Will, Seven, Dan the Dick Warner, and Josie as they dive into the hottest topics of the week across sports, including baseball, basketball, and the NFL. You can catch the episode live Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/The Sports Report Podcast, or Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. Don't miss the Sports Report Podcast. Don't miss Fight Night. Every Tuesday night, Will Morgan and Josie Haney break down the hottest topics of the week across combat sports, including UFC, boxing, WWE, AEW, and more. Past episodes are available on youtube.com/The Sports Report Podcast, and each episode will air again Thursday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. Don't miss Fight Night. Tune in or tap out. Put the kids to bed, put on your shades, and crack open a cold one during Sports Report After Dark with Seven and Dan the Dick Warner. You can catch After Dark Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/the Sports Report Podcast, and again Saturday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. We believe that athletes are people too, and Skip Bayless is one of the lizard people. Don't miss Sports Report After Dark.
That last show, Sports Report After Dark, Thursdays, 10/9 Central. Dun, 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 dun.
Tomorrow, catch it.
Tomorrow, catch it at 9 Central for all my Nebraska peeps out there.
Yeah,
I don't think there's many people.
Everybody else.
There's many people from Nebraska watching the show, but if you are, comment and we'll give you a shout out and we'll talk about fucking Nebraska football for the rest of this show. I don't give a shit. It's my show, Stacks. It's our show, so we can talk whatever the fuck we want.
No doubt. Yeah.
I should probably at some point. I should probably just throw
keep Mickey. That's what I'm saying right now.
I mean, we're going to do this 45 minutes in, parental advisory.
Better late than never, I always say.
If they didn't get that point, they're probably tuned out already. You know what I'm saying? Like they got it eventually. It was like, they can say whatever they want. Yes, we can. It is true. We will. So, and that is also for the Sports Report or After Dark as well. And for that matter, the Sports Report. I would hope that a lot of young kids aren't watching our show. Like, I actually hope that they're not, just for influence purposes.
Oh geez, if I had children, I don't think I'd want them to listen to it either. So
I think Tony makes his son watch. I think he sits him in the room and says, "Hey, this is punishment for the week."
Fair enough.
You have to watch me do all of that. You just from my side though, you can't hear anything else that's going on. You just makes him sit there and watch. I'm just kidding. Tony doesn't do that. He might. I don't know.
Better than taking the cell phone away. So hey, why not?
Right? You mean the lifeline? That's
absolutely, yeah, the lifeline.
I mean, I feel weird without a cell phone sometimes. You know, if it's dead or something, like 30 minutes into it charging,
or if it's like not in my pocket, man, I feel naked. I'm like scrambling, man.
Right. It's so integral to like what we do as people at this point. Like you didn't ever used to have that much access to other people or information. And I don't think it's a great thing, but like it is what it is at this point. Like it is what it is. It's unfortunate, and it's just an unprecedented thing at this point. We don't have any experience for dealing with this. You know, like for people's development and everything, we have no idea what any of it does to us as people. We do know that it's going to cut down. Like it's hard for people to have face-to-face conversations now about stuff. Like I feel like it really is.
Especially the younger generation, no doubt.
Absolutely. Like I feel like they don't want to like just talk to somebody to their face.
Or they don't know how. They don't know how, Dan.
Yes. Yeah. And like
let's be honest.
Like I don't like particularly enjoy talking about issues that I don't want to talk about face to face with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I've always had to do it. I've always just done it. And like that's just part of like
a skill that was innate. Right.
Because you had to. Yeah. Like we used to have to. And like that was very early in our lives though. If you think about it, like we've had this amount of cell phone communication for basically our entire adult lives at this point. I don't know if it was as much as when we were younger, but like I mean, we basically just had to do that. And like that's like us being like the old guy, like, you know, like, oh, when we were young, and like it really did change a lot though. It really changed a lot in the last 10 years. I mean, shit, when I was in middle school, it was the Motorola Razr.
Yeah,
it was like
same here.
The craziest fucking phone ever.
That was my first real phone. Yeah, the Motorola.
Scotty Burnett, shout out to Scotty, was the first one that had the Razr, and everyone thought it was a fucking time machine. Basically, like, is that what a flux capacitor looks like? We're like, no, it's just a phone, dude. Like it's like, and that's like what the shittiest phone that you can possibly. Like I know there's an old guy out there right now just rocking the fucking Motorola Razr, dude. He's got that 2003 version, just flipping it open. Man, my dad still has a fucking flip phone. I mean, he has a legitimate, and he thinks it's like the craziest invention known to mankind. Like opens it up, and he's like, wow. Yeah, like he's like, I don't know why there's not a dial on this thing. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's got, yours has numbers for buttons. Like it's still got buttons on it. Like it's just like a cordless phone, man. Just dial this stuff. And I don't get mad at him though, because I know that I did it first. I was like, God damn it, dude. But like I gotta understand that he doesn't, you know, like he's learning that shit when he's 50, dude. He don't give a fuck about all that stuff. Like he's
absolutely.
He don't give a fuck about learning about that shit. He just wants to know how to make phone calls. That's about it. So I'm is what it is.
I just hope I'm a little more open-minded as the year goes on to new technology. I
think
so.
That's what made me what made me angry about it. Mostly, it was like I'm just like, well, you got to adapt, man. Like you have to adapt at some point.
Adapt or die.
Yeah. Like I think it was Einstein who said, what was it? He's like the ability of a species to continue is not its ability to kill or fight or like physically stay alive. It's its ability to adapt. Basically, I'm paraphrasing Einstein. Obviously, I'm not going to say his quote exactly right, but like basically he's just saying like just roll with it. Try and learn while you're moving. And I feel like that was probably what pissed me off about it. I was like, dude, you gotta come up to this time at some point. Like there's no more rotary phones. Nobody's going to use those anymore. So you have to like learn how to use this one, unfortunately. And like
no more dial-up either. You better remember your Wi-Fi password.
Right. Yes. Like if you can do that, at least I feel like we do a good job of that, but like we basically, because we have to, right? Like as our kind of group of humans in our age range, we've done a good job because we've went through this last 15 years where it was the Razor, and like before that it was like, dude, I remember my parents had a fucking bag phone in the car, like a bag cell phone for like emergencies.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, I've only seen that on TV shows, man. For real.
Dude, yeah. We had a 1988 Mercury Grand Marquis LS, the boat, big white boat car, and it had a fucking bag phone in the back of it that was the size of a briefcase, and you had to like unzip it and like connect to the internet from it and shit. Like it had that thing. If that didn't give one of my family members cancer, I'd be surprised. Like at some point, it's just gonna come up, and I'm just gonna be like, "Yeah, dude, I got fucking melanoma. It's gonna be from that fucking bag phone that was just putting off intense amounts of X-rays into all of us."
Here's your sign.
Yes, just riding in the car with a goddamn MRI scanner, basically. That shit's ridiculous.
Yes.
Anyway, this is an NBA show.
It is.
Whatever we want to talk about.
That it is.
No, Benedict Mathurin coming up. I'm trying to get some of his fucking rookie cards as soon as I can get my hands on those. They haven't came out with any. There's first off the line stuff that has him in it, but those are really expensive shit that I'm not gonna buy a bunch of.
Not about. I would just say, don't be afraid to pop on some Palo too.
Oh God, yeah. Well, I mean that's your main one, and then Jaden Ivey's your other one. So you want. Those are the two that you want probably the most, and then
absolutely.
Looking down, who else can you think of that I would want as a rookie card? Because
let me see here.
Because a lot of it doesn't matter. Like a lot of it, it's weird though with cards because a lot of it doesn't matter to like how. It does matter how good of a player they are, but it also matters how flashy and like marketable.
Marketable they are. Man, I mean, just basing off the NBA.com. Granted, a lot of people are down on Jabari Smith right now because he's not shooting the ball very well. But I think they'll come out the other side, better for it. I would say Jabari if I'm just looking at this list.
Jabari Smith Jr.
Yep, absolutely.
He's Rockets, right?
Yes. Yep. Houston. Yes, sir.
And then I'm seeing Keegan Murray. What do you think about his game? He's number 4. He was the number 4 overall pick.
Yeah, Keegan Murray. I mean, I liked him at Iowa for what he did there, but from the standpoint of marketability, not quite yet. I don't think he's quite there yet. But
when he plays in Sacramento, so that's already down.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's another thing for sure.
He's already at a huge disadvantage playing in Sacramento. He might as well play in fucking China or. Hey,
man! There, I saw Shaq said something, and to be honest, they're definitely playing well right now. But he says they're going to make the playoffs this year. So of course he's in on some ownership too, so it makes sense. But yeah, the Kings. Yep.
Never been a better marketer of himself than Shaquille O'Neal.
Absolutely. That icy hot. Got to go get it, man.
Dude, I'm like, I can name like 6 off the top of my head.
Yeah. He's the general insurance. Oh yeah.
He sits on the board of Papa John's. He's like the head of the board of Papa John's. Like he basically owns all of Papa John's now. After Papa John stuck his fucking foot in his mouth and said some stupid shit about foreigners, like an idiot. Like Those Italian guys.
No. Yeah.
No, but he said something stupid, and like Shaq was just like, "Yeah, I'll take." Shaq was already in on the ownership team and stuff, so he went ahead and jumped at that fucking opportunity. So, but yeah, he's got like 10 fucking ads that are on all the time, and like I always think like in those production meetings, he's got to be like, his likability rating has to just be through the roof, right?
Yeah, definitely.
They're like, well, we could get this guy. They're like, oh, we could get this celebrity or this celebrity. And they're like, well, we could spring for Shaq. And he's just at the top of the list on everything. They're like, yeah, people just love fucking Shaq.
They do.
It's that gentle giant thing is what it is.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
So that's the top 5 though. So you got Matherin.
That is. Yep.
Jaden Ivey, who looks like he's going to be a star.
Yep, that backcourt, man. I'm telling you, Pistons. If they keep playing their cards right and playing smart with moves they make, that team's gonna be good. Because Cade Cunningham, man, he's a stud, dude.
He is a stud, and
kid plays at his own pace. You know, he's been like that since Oklahoma State. You can't speed him up. He plays at his own pace, and he's amazing to watch. He reminded me of Luka a lot.
I was just gonna say that. There's a lot of. I was gonna say there's a lot of Luka Doncic. There's a lot of Euro in his game. And that's like so. That's such an underrated like ability at this point. Like not being in a hurry and like fucking Luka's made a career of that. A career of just like doing what he wants to do. And if you're gonna get in his way, you're gonna foul him, or you know what I'm saying. Like just never speeds up because he really can't speed up that much. Let's be honest. But like that's probably his biggest strength was that he wasn't real athletic at the beginning of it, and he had to learn how to play just at his own pace, just making passes whenever he wants to make them. There's no hurry to it. There's no like it's such an underrated thing. And like like Cade Cunningham, I was just gonna say that like Luka is a perfect comparison to him.
Absolutely. Well, are we ready for a trivia question?
Absolutely, hit me.
So there's 4 of them, 4 teams. Can you name the 4 highest scoring benches this season? There's 4 of them.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the theme, and I'm gonna say that.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Pacers. Is that one?
Yeah. They're number 2. They're doing 42.7 for points off the bench.
That's number 2.
That's number 2. Yep.
Oh man, Golden State.
Not Golden State.
Not on there.
Not Golden State.
I guess they are more starter centric now.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's more top heavy. Those young guys haven't quite came into their own yet, obviously. And I kind of wanted to hit on that a little bit too before we cut out with James Wiseman getting called down to the G League too. I wanted to hit on that.
That's crazy.
It is.
That's crazy. Let me get the rest of these teams because is it Toronto?
They are not on there.
Houston.
No, sirree, Bob.
The Bucks.
Unfortunately not.
Oh, that's a good guess too.
It is a good guess. It is a good guess.
Did I say the Pistons already?
That's a good guess, but nope, they're not on there. You haven't said that one yet.
Give me a hint. Give me a guy. Give me a hint.
Think of so think of some teams that we really weren't expecting much out of this year, but they're
Utah.
Playing well. Absolutely, they're number 1.
Okay.
44.3 off the bench.
So I got Utah. We got
Utah,
Indiana,
Pacers. Yep, and then again, stick with the theme of teams that we didn't think were going to do much this year because we thought they were going to be tanking for.
It's not Sacramento.
Sacramento's number 4.
Okay,
absolutely.
So
yep, 41.6. Yep, and the Jazz, of course, that goes back to the Pacers. That goes back to Benedict Mathurin.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because. Go ahead.
Nope, that was all I was going to say. But we got one more. So again, think of a team that we didn't expect much out of this year because we thought they were going to tank for Wembanyama, and not to say that some of these teams won't by the end of the year, but
not Portland, right?
Not Portland, no. We mentioned some of their players earlier with our top 5 3-and-D all time, if that helps. They were on that team, couple of them. We're on that team.
Are on it now?
No, we're on it. We're on it at one point in time. Yep.
Houston?
No.
The Raptors?
Not quite. Nope.
Because I got Corver, the Sixers. Because I got Corver, Danny Green.
Yeah. Danny Green. Where's Danny
Cleveland.
Green played?
Right now?
No. Just like on those teams we talked about him earlier. He was part of the championship teams. Danny Green was. There was about 2 of them. So it's not the Raptors.
Spurs.
Absolutely. The
Okay.
Spurs are number 3 with 42.7.
Interesting. Who's coming off the bench in San Antonio? Would it be?
Yeah, absolutely. That was another thing. I'm not gonna lie to you. Spurs are not heavy on my watch list, Dan, because they're
well, one of the first things you came up and said, which is hilarious, was that Pop came out and said that don't look for the Spurs to be winning anything this year. Basically, he just said like we're gonna suck.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was just looking at kind of who they have coming off the bench. Josh Richardson, he's played well a little bit this season. Let's see. Keita Bates Diop from Ohio State. They got him. Isaiah Roby, a little
Boom.
Nebraska for ye.
GBR.
Nebraska GBR. Oh, and then of course Dougie McBuckets as well.
Wow.
On that bench. So
the Spurs are my favorite team now. Spurs are my favorite team. I just made the Dougie McBuckets I Roby fucking match up there. I forgot they played on the same team.
It must be a lot of McBuckets because I'm wondering where they're getting this from because this hasn't been that impressive right now. Yeah, so it's been Richardson. So Josh Richardson's carried a lot of that load off the bench.
Josh Richardson, the former Heat Josh Richardson.
Absolutely, yeah. Old Heat Josh Richardson.
Interesting. Well, and it's weird too because Pop is just starting weird lineups. He is. He's just starting a bunch of weird guys. He's trying to figure out what their formula is going to be. And so it looks like here games started, they're all over the place. So like he's just plugging in different guys and different guys are coming off the bench and a lot of he's probably playing a ton of minutes off the bench too because he's trying to figure out who's who his guys are.
Who his guys are. Absolutely.
They have
I mean it looks like Dougie McBuckets has gotten Richardson's gotten like 28 minutes off the bench and Dougie's been getting 19 minutes here and there.
They have
12 minutes.
Yeah, they have how many guys now? Let me see here. They have a bunch of guys in that average double figures, I think.
Yep.
So they're
Josh Richardson has to be one of them.
Absolutely. So Josh Richardson and 10.6.
And Dougie is probably the top. There.
Doug's averaging just under 10 points
coming
a game.
Off that bench.
Yeah.
Just under 10 points. Got it.
Yes. So they got like 5 guys coming off there at about 10 points a game.
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. There was some teams you wouldn't have necessarily thought of. I mean, a few of them kind of hit. Obviously the Jazz because they're playing hot right now, and then the Pacers, and then I could see the Kings, but the Spurs was definitely. I found that one surprising.
Who's number 10 for the Spurs?
He's got
that crazy hair.
The Spurs. I'm trying to think. Jeremy Sochan. Yeah, Sochan. Yeah, absolutely. The old Baylor prodigy.
Yep.
Yeah. He was more of a D guy at Baylor. Hasn't quite found himself yet. Offensively, obviously this year he's doing about 7.4 points right now. He's averaging. But yeah, I mean, he was more of a utility guy at Baylor. He'd grab it off the board and play your defense for you. And every once in a while he'd cut. He'd cut into the lane or from the 3-point line and get a layup here and there. From
that weird country called Poland. Weird country called Poland over there. So Sean,
Dennis Rodman 2.0 over here with the hairdo.
Right. That's what it looks like. It looks like totally too.
Blonde and Baylor, and it looks like in his picture he's got some purple going on. So
yeah, he's got
Pink
purple, red, and blue in this one. Pink, red, and blue in this one. That's craziness. Yeah, it's all over the place. Hey man, if I had hair, I'd be dyeing it all the time.
Oh yeah,
because why not?
Because why not?
Stacks, you got a great head of hair. What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh well, no, I know
Must
that.
Be nice.
Well, I mean, it's okay. Yeah, it's all right. I mean, I hate it. I mean, the curls, man. I don't.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Those, you know what I'm saying? Thanks, Angie, if you're watching this, you bitch. Thank you for these curls, you whore. Anyway, love you, Mom.
Dude, don't speak to your mother like that. No, Stack's mom was awesome. I talked to her at the casino. I talk to her at the casino all the time. She works at the casino. She's my second home. So
Angela. Old Angela.
Yeah. Old Angela. She's the old trusty plow horse.
Hey, can you give me a Coke? Sure, Dan. I'll be right back. No big deal. Can you give me a beer, Dan? Sure, I'll be right back.
Yes, just always there with the beers and the Mountain Dews. She's always right on the money with it.
Man, James Wiseman of the G League, though. 2 years ago, he was number 2. Man, 2 years ago, he was drafted number 2 overall.
What do you think his game just? I've always just thought his game doesn't translate. It doesn't translate very well to the NBA.
I was big on him coming out. I mean, granted, it was a small sample size at Memphis, but I thought for sure, just given where he was at with Golden State, I thought it'd be easy buckets. All you gotta do is, and it was interesting. I wanted to bring it up just from that standpoint because I know I talked about in the group chat how I thought, he's gonna be like DeAndre Ayton and he's gonna get a bag because literally all you gotta do is set a screen and roll and you got wide open. You're wide open all night long. But yeah, so apparently he's only been making, and this is thanks to our boys with the podcast. Anyway, he's only making 56% contact on his screens. So 56% of the time he's making full contact on screens, which is not very good at all. Especially in that offense. I found that to be an incredible stat. Obviously, that's a weird one. You don't hear that very often. But when you're only making contact on 56% of your screens,
He's just whiffing. He's just whiffing on an entire.
Yeah, he's just whiffing. And, and it's just interesting. I kind of thought, during the summer we saw him, I think he averaged about 10, maybe 8 points a game. He was looking good in the summer. I thought maybe, something was going to happen coming in. But, it feels like they've completely given up on him. I haven't, but, just from the way it looks, some of the insiders around Golden State, it just doesn't look good for James here. But it was interesting because Jordan Poole, he was one of those G League guys that came up from the G League. And so I kind of found this quote interesting. He says, I've been telling Wiseman, hey, look, man, this isn't a demotion. This is not a punishment. I'm telling him to go down there and take 50 shots, man. Be aggressive, get techs, hang on the rim, do all that shit. Just so you can understand what it takes to be at the highest level.
That's such a great quote.
Absolutely.
Just go down there and just play like you played in high school is basically what he's trying to say.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like we're playing a game right now. Like you need to get back because he's kind of inferring there is that James Wiseman's in his own head.
Absolutely.
Which has got to be easy to do when you play in Golden State. The couple of things there for him, like how much is that does that injury? He missed all of last year. So how much does that injury? How's it affected him?
Absolutely.
How does his chemistry within this team work? Because he's clearly not going to be a focal point.
Oh, no, not at all. But again, that's why I thought, he'd be a nice little piece, off the bench for him, maybe even in the playoffs, I thought, just from that standpoint. Because, honestly, you have an easy job. Look who you're playing around. You're playing around Draymond, Clay, Steph. And again, that kind of alluded to my point of like, man, literally all you got to do is set screens. And then when I heard that stat of like, he's only making contact on 50% of his screens. And it's like, man, that's your one job. you know?
It might come down to his personality too, Stacks. It might just be the fact that he might be one of those guys who can't just come off the bench and be ready to go, because there's definitely we've definitely seen cases like that before where the guy has to start or has to at least get up shots to start, because he's going to be fucking struggling to get shots if he's not going to be getting offensive rebounds and doing the dirty work kind of stuff. And he just might not be that kind of guy right now. And I think that's what Jordan Poole is inferring with that quote.
He's saying, hey man, go down there, learn how to play, learn how to play that type of role. And be able to do that, guy that's able to do the dirty work and be able to go down there and do all those things and play without fear, basically.
Right. I think that, his personality just might not be that. And honestly, he's probably going to have a change of scenery. Unless the Golden State, which none of us really would see happening, unless the Golden State thing just basically, kind of just gets dismantled and he's still there for some reason. He's not going to be like, so the best thing to do for him and the Warriors at this point is probably to move him. But right now, you're not going to get anything back for him. If you just G Leagued him, you're not getting anything back for him. And they obviously somewhat believe in the guy, because they would have got rid of him before sending him down to the G League.
They would have just got rid of him. Yeah.
And got what they could.
Right. Yeah. I mean, just from what, kind of what I've read and what's been reported, it just kind of seemed like, they'll keep Moody and some of those younger guys before they keep Wiseman if this kind of continues.
Right. And Kuminga.
Yep, absolutely. Which I think those two are going to be, I have hope for Kuminga as well, but Moody's been playing well this year. So, in his limited minutes, he's been playing well. So, that's some good stuff there.
A couple of statistics that stood out to me. The Golden State Warriors winless on the road.
Absolutely.
0-7 on the road this year.
0-7 on the road, man.
Whoa. Right? How much of that is just them understand? I think at some point, yes, that's a championship hangover. Probably the most meaningful championship to those guys that they've basically had, because I feel like the KD years kind of made them feel like, okay, well, maybe it was a lot of KD, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe they felt underappreciated, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot of KD.
It was a lot of KD. I agree 100%. And I think that's kind of what they alluded to last year on that run, is like, hey, man, look, we can do this. Like, we can still do this. And they proved it without KD.
I think something that we don't ever look at, and think about this, like, I'm sure you've thought about this before. The Warriors team, KD got a lot of shit for going there and winning his first 2 titles. And people said that he couldn't have done it without the Warriors, right? How much do you think the rest of that Warriors team, Steph Curry obviously being the pinnacle of that, thinks the opposite way? How many people do you think they think that those 2 titles, after they won 70 games and got beat by LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2016, and then they come back and go back to back, but they had KD for that back to back after that? So
Absolutely.
how much do you think that Warriors team thinks about that? The reverse side of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, people think that we only won those last 2 because
of Kevin.
Right. And then they just got this one last year that kind of solidified the fact that obviously that wasn't the case, right? So like,
correct.
Yeah, that wasn't the case. Clearly they should have won. Like that wasn't a fluke the years before that.
Absolutely.
And then kind of the hangover off of that. You know what I'm saying? Like they went, oh shit, we finally did it. Like we
finally did it.
Showed everybody that we didn't need KD, and now it's just like, fuck. Like they just don't want to work that hard anymore. Like that's natural.
Well, but then again, Dan, I mean, you got to think of the era that we're in, and we all know when play gets ramped up, it's obviously going to, come playoff time, I think they'll be ready to go.
Right.
I think it's just a matter of picking your nights.
And we talked about this last week. Like a lot of these teams that we're seeing that we didn't expect to be good really aren't going to be good. Right? No, they're not going to be. It's just this point. No. They're playing as a team. A lot of them are very young, so every game in the NBA is very important to them. The more veteran teams always struggle at the beginning of the year because they know how long of a grind it is. So like these young guys are sprinting already in the 2 mile. They're sprinting. They're way out ahead, right? They're like, oh yeah, we're in the lead. And then LeBron and Steph and all these guys.
It's an audition too. You know what I mean? For a lot of them, it's an audition. You think of the Jazz, and some of them, obviously, I think they have a good coach over there. It'll be interesting to see if they can keep it up. But, obviously Jordan Clarkson could be a nice piece for somebody, and then obviously you look at the Pacers, and they have some pieces as well that could be moved too. So
in the Pistons,
it's an audition.
It's an audition. And if you're a young guy, I mean, you're just obviously you would think all these guys are going 100%, unless you're just like already stamped in, which there's nobody really, unless you get to the generational type talents that are just in immediately. Like there's no way.
It goes back to the point of learning how to play the NBA game.
Right.
Just like we alluded to earlier.
Yeah, and because it is so much different. It's so much
Absolutely.
different and so much at a different speed, and everybody's fucking good. Like everybody is good. Like there's not guys that you can just pick on. You're not playing South Dakota State when you're in, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not going to play South Dakota State and get dudes out there who clearly can't guard you. Like every team has a player that can clearly fucking guard you, and they're going to.
And they will.
And that's not a hit on South Dakota State. You have a great program,
they got it. Yeah, absolutely.
But Duke and South Dakota State's going to be a fucking bloodbath, because there's just going to be dudes who just clearly have the advantage. There's going to be it's just going to be a fucking nightmare, and that's not going to happen in where you play a half and you score 26 and then you're done for the rest of the game because you're up 15 and it's 30 and it's over. There's not going to be those kind of games. It's just every night you have to come out and you have to bring it every night. And you got those guys are all sprinting in the 2 mile. They're all out ahead. And then you got guys like LeBron and Steph and KD. They're already solidified. They're just in the back like, hey guys, I'll be up there at the end. Like, you guys go ahead and you can celebrate as much as you want. I've been here in this 2 mile for a long time, and I'm always at the front when we finish.
I was gonna say, when it matters, I'm here. You know what I mean? So
they're gonna be sprinting the last 200, and these guys are gonna be like, oh shit, I got nothing left. And like but that's all part of the process. I mean, that's all part of learning.
Absolutely.
And
and it's a great point there, Dan. Like I said, it goes back to what we alluded to before with just how different the game is.
Stacks, best player in the NBA right now.
Best player in the NBA right now, man. It's got to be. Oh man, it's got to be Jason Tatum right now.
I was gonna say that the only two answers.
Jason Tatum right now.
The only two answers I think are actually acceptable are Giannis and Jason Tatum, and I think that and this is going to change like week per week. I think.
Oh,
obviously.
no doubt.
So
absolutely.
I think that Giannis is probably. I mean, Giannis, in my opinion, if I was just going to say like who's the best, I'd probably say that Giannis still is.
Right.
But Tatum's right there, and that's fucking crazy, dude. Like this guy has really come up, not quickly because it's taken him not a second, but like he's taken the same route that a lot of the other these guys like have taken into that top 2 or 3 in the NBA type status, and he's
he just seems like such a good dude though, and it's and it's like a not to say it's on the same level, but it just seems he's got that a little bit of that Kobe mentality in him too, which I admire a lot. So I think he does for sure. I do. Yep.
And that's what's gonna and like with Giannis too. I mean, that's why Giannis is so just such a freak. He's obviously such a freak and would have been good. Like he would have been good if he didn't have the mindset that he has, but like, because he has that mindset where he just works his ass off and just head down, there ain't no bullshit with Giannis. It's just in Milwaukee, just straight grinding, dude. That guy is, I'm going to give you a stat line on Giannis right now. You probably know what it is similar to right now, but 30, 29.9, 11.8 and 5.5. He's got a 21.4 player efficiency rating, which is fucking, if nobody knows what that is, that's good. Let's just say that's very, very good. The average is like, I think the average is obviously 0, I think, but like, so anywhere to like 6 is like above average. So you're looking at 21. So the guy's playing out of his fucking mind. He's just basically unstoppable.
Boy, I think I kind of wanted to hit on this a little bit too. What do we think about how Joel Embiid has been playing over not this season, but particularly over the last few games? He's had 101 points over the last few games. He put up 59 the other night.
59. What was it? 59, 18, or no, it's 59, 13, 11, and yeah. 7 blocks.
Yep.
Seven blocks.
7 blocks. Yep.
First guy ever in the NBA. It was in NBA history with that stat line. I think there was like, it was like over 50, 10, 10, 10, and 5. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
something stupid. Like he's such a. I talked about it on the Sports Report Monday. He's like the quintessential, like what you would want as like today's NBA gameplay. Like he is your quintessential center. Like he stepping out, like he stays out of the lane.
But at the same time, it's one of those things where it's so unorthodox. But granted, with the era that we're in, I mean, just with the Euros, I mean, Duke can handle a little bit better than he looks.
He's almost like still old school though. Like yes, he is the quintessential center, but like
absolutely. Yep.
And that's why I think he's so dominant at this point, is because like he's that old school style, and nobody plays that anymore. Like nobody plays the back to the basket like type style, and he's got that mixed in with he can shoot the 3. He hit like 4 threes the other night, just stepping out, and he's shooting like 40% from 3 at this point. So like
and he can bring it up in transition, and then hit you with a little this, and then lay it in. It's shoots
85% from the line. Like not a bad free throw shooter. He's a very, very, very good free throw shooter. So he's just basically like scoring wise, the dude's fucking unstoppable at this point.
Absolutely. And there was nobody on Utah the other night when he went for 59 that could touch him.
I mean, who they even like? I watched a bunch of the plays, and it seems like they had a bunch of different guys on him. I don't even know anybody on Utah's team who can nobody can really physical with Joel Embiid. If nobody knows about Joel Embiid, he's 7'2".
Yeah, nobody's gonna out physical Joel Embiid. Yeah, I mean there was there's not many that can hang.
But he makes it really bad when it's Lauri Markkanen was guarding him most of the time. And
Markkanen, yep, absolutely.
Who hasn't been known as a physical player in this NBA.
As a physical player, no,
talented as fuck.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep. They threw Kelly Olynyk a lot at him. I know that.
Yep. Absolutely.
A little bit of Malik Beasley, but those two guys, like Olynyk and Markkanen, are not going to be able to like. Kelly Olynyk can't be more than 6'9" for one, so he's not a real big dude in the first place. And then Markkanen is I think close to 7 foot, but he's not a big guy either.
He's not a big dude either. No. And again, it goes back to the fact that they're just not your quintessential big guys. You know? Especially Markkanen in that case.
Yeah, Markkanen's 7 foot 210. So he is that's like Dirk Nowitzki body build type of skinny as shit. Like
beanpole. Absolutely.
Yes, which you can't blame him. He's 7 foot tall. You know what I'm saying? Like he got stretched out. Like all of his bulk got stretched into being 7 foot tall. So it's like, you can't like those bigger guys that are skinny. Wembanyama is fucking skinny as shit, dude. That guy looks like he is skeleton bad skinny. And it's like because his bones are fucking as long as his upper arm bone is as long as my whole arm. It's
is he 100 pounds soaking wet? I've literally wondered that. Wondered that. I'm not even kidding.
Dude, I would venture that he does weigh under 200 pounds. And he is fucking 7'5", 7'3"? Was it 7'3", I think?
7'3", I believe, yeah.
I saw a picture of him next to, who was it? It was him next to, God damn it. I want to say it was an NBA guy that plays in the NBA now. And I think the guy was listed at like 6'10" or 6'11". And dude, he was a good half a head taller than this dude. And I was like, Jesus, that guy's huge. But like he just stretched out, and it's kind of the same thing with dude from Gonzaga. Why can't I think of his name right now? Young guy. Chet Holmgren.
Yeah, Chet Holmgren. Yeah, right.
They just get stretched out. They're so young, like they just didn't ever like. They're not going to get that like dude type, body, that girth until they're older anyway. If even at that rate, some of these guys the way they are now, yeah. Absolutely. Well, not only that brings up another point. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been killing it as of late. Obviously, there's there's a few pieces around there in Oklahoma City, but somebody brought up another good point that I heard that said, if they can get Chet back before the end of the year somehow, are you necessarily tanking, or are you trying to go for a playoff push? Because Gilgeous-Alexander looks like a stud right now. I mean, in Oklahoma City?
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
I think you go at this point. Like I think that they're ready to go. I mean, I don't think they're gonna go deep into the playoffs, but
no, I didn't mean it like that. Yeah,
no,
absolutely.
I know, but like Giddy and all these guys, like Josh Giddey's great.
Josh
I mean, really good player. I think that you got to go for it. I think you go with the group that you have at this point. Maybe you add another guy.
Absolutely.
But that is going to be a thing. We're going to have to watch that throughout the course of this show and then throughout the whole season. Is that there's going to be teams that start tanking for like, why would you not? Why would you not at this point?
Why would you not? Yeah. Yep.
He has to be as generational. Like, I don't think there's been more hype for a guy. Dude, I know who it was. It was fucking Rudy Gobert, dude.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at it right now. This picture of him and Rudy Gobert.
Got it.
Gobert goes up to about his eyebrow. Rudy Gobert, who's 7'2".
Who's 7'2".
Goes up to his, like, it's about right here is where Rudy Gobert is standing to him. And they have him listed at 7'2". Rudy Gobert's taller than 7 foot tall. And this guy's clearly over his, like, he's clearly about 2 to 3 inches taller than Rudy Gobert, which is crazy.
That's nuts.
Skinniest dude I've ever seen, possibly.
It's like I said, literal beanpole. And I thought Kevin was skinny coming out of Texas. I mean, it's
Kevin looked like,
it's up there. It's
KD
up there,
at least had a little lean muscle on him, like Wembanyama does, but like this is it's weird.
It's weird.
He looks like Gumby. There's just no definition. He looks like just like sticks hanging out of there. That's fucking crazy, dude. Yeah, but Duke can shoot. He's the real deal. Would you say there's as much hype? There's as much hype for him as there was for, I mean, anybody since LeBron, probably, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I would venture to
Zion.
Agree. Yeah, Zion too. But I think even more so. I mean, it's just a little bit different. I think from the standpoint of like the fact that now the NBA app is now exclusively going to show games of his on the NBA app now. I mean, what else does that tell you?
Right. Who else got that? I mean, LeBron got that high school treatment.
LeBron got the high school treatment. Again, like you said, Zion is a good one, but I don't think it's at that level that that this is at.
Just because I think that everybody knows that this is basically, he's so close to a sure thing that, and whether or not he's going to be, live up to any of that is obviously to be seen. But I don't think there's any doubt that the dude's going to average 20 plus points in the NBA. You're right. And just be a perennial all-star. Like, I don't think and you can't say that about anybody else, because Zion was a freak, obviously. Like he was obviously
again, I think it goes back to health though. If I'm being honest. I mean, granted, you could say that about a lot of things, but I mean, you just kind of look at these bigs, and just the history. Well, and he's not necessarily big at this point, but I'm just saying, like, the bigger stature players, Greg Oden, things of that nature. I mean, it's just, it just hasn't always. Yeah, that would be the best comparison there, just for size, height wise, and everything, and just. Yeah.
And it's always like with Odin, it was, and with it's always foot problems.
It is.
Because there's like what? Like there's like 100 some little different bones in your foot or whatever. And these dudes' fucking feet are fucking gantic. And like it's just hard for them to like stay not injured when you're walking around with those fucking things. They do probably wears a size 22 shoe, and like all those different ways it can turn, especially in basketball. It's to be seen. I hope the guy, stay healthy
so we can actually see what it turns into.
What the pinnacle of that talent could be, because right. And it's all about potential.
Sky's the limit there if he can stay healthy though, and if he keeps at it, it
was with Zion too. Because I mean, basically the size thing was kind of the same with Zion, because it wasn't obviously that he was that tall, because he wasn't. He's 6'7", probably.
But it was just a weight.
300 pounds.
Yeah.
And just being
the amount of weight you have to carry. Yeah.
Right. Built like fucking Glenn Big Baby Davis, but he has a 45-inch vertical. It's like, whoa, this is weird. That shouldn't be able to get off the ground like that, basically.
No, not at all. Or Charles Barkley,
It's like a tank with NOS. It's not supposed to be that fast. Like he was just not supposed to be able to come off the floor like that.
Yeah, that first jump off a rebound, that's still amazing to watch though.
Oh yeah, and Zion's showing he's really good. He's clearly
really
very,
good.
very good.
It's just a matter of, can you consistently stay healthy?
Diet.
I
think he's down there in New Orleans eating all that gumbo and shit. And I think that he likes it a lot because why wouldn't you? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But he actually has to, like, he's understanding that he has to now pay attention to that because he's not going to be 20 his entire life. You know, like he's got to actually pay, like, and stay. And because in high school, I'm sure he just ate whatever the fuck he wanted. Just buffets full of shit. And he could just burn it off.
Whatever the fuck he wants.
Whatever the fuck you want. And like, he's already seeing that at this level, you can't do that. Even if you're young and you're staying in shape really easily, like you can get out of shape if you just eat whatever the fuck you want. And plus, it just probably makes him feel like shit sometimes.
Not only that, but I could say to the point too. You know, I mean, obviously, I felt like at Duke it would be regimented, right, with the dietitians that they probably have on staff over there. I'm sure he was probably eating a little bit better than as compared to when he got when he ventured into the NBA, and you know, no one was telling him what to eat anymore, and he just went on his own.
Right. He probably just, I mean, because at this point you would think he probably has a dietitian and stuff that works for him and everything. But like when he first got in,
yes, that's probably, he was probably his like contract.
You know, he was probably like, he's probably like, I'll just go get whatever I want, you know, whatever. When he gets home in practice, he just goes and gets or has it delivered or whatever. And it's like, he probably realized eventually that you can't do that because like you'll just eat whatever the fuck, like you'll just be eating all the time and like just eating the most ridiculous shit. Especially in New Orleans, they got great food. So it's just absolutely. A strange thing, and that's that more human side of being these guys because got to stay in shape. So
gotta stay in shape.
All right, man. You got anything else for the night, or?
Oh man, I can't think of anything outside of the fact Anthony Edwards went off tonight. Finished with 35, 8, 6. And hit 7 to 13 from 3. It was funny. I was listening to the Mismatch podcast. I couldn't think of it all night. That's what it is, Mismatch podcast with Kevin O'Connor and Chris Vernon. And it's interesting. He's like a main reporter for the Memphis Grizzlies, and so they played Minnesota this week. And it was interesting to kind of hear his thoughts, just from the standpoint of the fact that like. Obviously, if you saw the clip of Anthony Edwards just kind of standing there as the play was going on, I don't know if you saw that.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no doubt. And so, and he mentioned that when they played Memphis, that it was a lot of eye rolling, and it was just a whole bunch of the body language is bad. So kind of keep an eye on that as we go forward here. And there was even talks on the Bill Simmons podcast as to, if you're the Knicks, to make yourself a little bit more better. Obviously, you got Jalen Brunson. Now, what kind of move are you looking to do? And it's like, maybe you get Cat.
You're saying the eye rolling from Anthony Edwards and stuff like that.
Anthony, overall the whole team, Anthony Edwards was, and he even alluded to the point that Ant had told, what's his face, the big dude that they picked up this year. I'm blanking on. Yeah, Gobert. He told Gobert, because Gobert was bitching about every single call up and down the floor. He told Gobert, dude, shut the fuck up and just play. And it was just the team's overall body language that was just so negative. And, if that continues, it'll be interesting because Ant's not used to playing with Gobert like that. Last year he had free reign and he was able to do things. And this year it's a little bit different. So.
And that lane, right when they made that move, I was like, how clogged is that lane going to be with Towns? Absolutely. And I know Towns prefers to play outside and he shoots a lot of threes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like
he don't want to play 5 anyway. Yeah.
Right. But still, I mean, those are a couple big dudes that are, I mean, they're going to have natural big dude, they're going to do big dude things like clog the lane up. Like they're going to go and try and get rebounds and do these things. And plus they're huge. For one, their sheer size is going to make it more clogged in there. And like, that was such a weird thing. And it has to be something with Anthony Edwards himself. I think that he's always been known as kind of that guy who may be a little flaky. And if he doesn't get the right situation, he's nothing against you, Ant. If you want to come on the show, bro, we're on that.
Yeah. Come on. But you could say maybe a little prima donna-esque.
Yes. And
just a little bit. Yeah.
And you should come on and prove us wrong, please.
Yeah, please. We'd love to talk to you.
I'm begging you to come on because that would be awesome. I will beg, and I'm not above it. I'm not above begging you to come on.
I mean, technically I don't have any contacts, but my cousin used to be a season ticket person for the Wolves. So
that's an in. That's an
yeah,
in. Hey man,
absolutely.
I met Kyle Korver when I was fucking 12. So I mean, that's an in, right? That was only
and the only in he has is Jamal Crawford held the door open for him to the arena. That's the only in I got.
I caught balls for Kyle Korver and just threw him back to him. I feel like that's even more. So like I feel like we're on I was 12.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like you should have his number, Dan. What the hell?
I don't think I even had a cell phone at that point, but if I did, I would have. I just would have been sending text messages, just ridiculous shit all the time. Like, hey Kyle, you want to hang out? Like real creepy stuff. Just real creepy shit. He'd be like, this guy's fucking weird. He just blocks me. My in is done.
Yeah.
I'd still be doing that. What am I talking about? Not when I was 12. I'd still be doing that. Like, hey Kyle. Hey Kyle. Kyle. Hey Kyle. What's going on? Just send him a picture, like selfies of myself. Like, hey Kyle. Be like, in Omaha, bro. This is where I saw your game at. He'd be like, this guy's fucking weird.
Yeah, but no. Basically, what I was getting at is just let's keep an eye on the Wolves going forward.
Speaking of keep an eye on things, last thing. LeBron James, the LeBron watch for points all time.
Absolutely.
That's gonna be a second, I think, because he's still got he's got 1,000 left to go or something like that. But
he does.
He is
somewhere in that range.
Let's see how many he's behind here. There's actually a thing on NBA.com. One of the main things is so he is 1,076 points behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So, barring injury, he will break that record by the end of the regular season.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would concur as long as he stays healthy and wants to play. I guess that's another thing.
Here's the conversation that we're going to have at that point. I'm done at that point talking about anybody else on the top 2 GOAT list than LeBron James and Michael Jordan. I'm done with it. There's no more. If that doesn't solidify it, at least him being number 2. I'm actually just asking for number 2 at this point. Like
2. Yeah, we'll take 2. Absolutely.
I'll take the fucking GOAT conversation all day long eventually. Like Jordan, I get it, guys. I fucking get it. But if you're putting anybody else in that argument right now, I think that you're wrong. I think that there's no way to do that anymore. Like, especially when he breaks his record.
Your head examined. You need to go get your head examined if you think there's anybody else. Look, I love Kobe.
I love Kobe.
I love Kobe, but if you think there's anybody else in there, please.
Got that.
Yeah.
Got that Kobe Lower Marion jersey there.
Lower Marion jersey, absolutely.
The old high school jersey.
Yeah, show the love. I saw that.
Yeah, so I mean, love Kobe.
I gotta bring in my Kevin Durant autograph ticket stub. I gotta show that on the show one of these days.
You do. We can
it's absolutely. It's from his rookie year with the Sonics.
Jeez, that's awesome. Yeah, that's fucking amazing. I love that kind of shit.
It's dope. Yeah, it's awesome.
I got the authentic the game worn Derek Thomas jersey back here in the case. Back there over the head.
Yeah, absolutely. I see that.
Yeah, so I got a lot of memorabilia stuff. We can do a show and tell.
Let's do that.
And you've seen the card. Look at this. It's all cards right there.
Yeah.
Those are all sports cards. Yeah, it's just like piles and shit. They're everywhere.
Danger man when it comes to the card game.
They're everywhere around me. It's fantastic. I get to do a kids thing for a living. I get to collect sports cards and like do it for my job. It's fantastic. It's like the greatest thing ever.
I'm envious.
It's also just like a lot. Like it is just there's so many.
It would be a lot.
So many, and just like, and how many of them are just not worth anything is fucking.
I was gonna say the little intricacies of like how much is this worth, and
people always telling me like, oh, I got these, I got a bunch of baseball cards. I got so many of them. I'm like, unfortunately, it's really not about quantity. It is 100% about quality. I don't care if you have 60 pounds worth of baseball cards; they could be not worth the fucking cardboard they're printed on, and in which case they're just book weights. Like I'm trying not for book weights. Like I don't have that many cards like as a quantity wise. I really don't. Like I have a lot. It's in the tens of thousands, but like it's not like a lot of people have like hundreds and hundreds like rooms full of them. And I'm like, that's dumb. I would be giving them away at that point. I'd be like, this entire fucking palette right here is not worth anything. I'd be like, I'm just giving away boxes of shit at that point. Like I'd be like, no, it's not worth shit.
Yeah, you're becoming a hoarder at that point.
Yes, you're hoarding them for no reason other than
hoarding
them just
for
being
no
in your
reason.
way.
Yeah.
Just to be in your way. I mean, that's honestly why I give you guys cards.
Sentimental value, for real.
The ones I give you guys are usually worth something, but like a lot of them are like literally I'm just like, hey, they like this team, and I'm okay with like getting rid of this huge stack of cards because it's like just like bulk. It's in my, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot. So,
absolutely, yeah.
Plus, I get to give you guys cards, and people people who don't collect cards usually like to see like some random one, like, oh yeah, I like this team.
And right.
I get joy from that joy. So, but yeah, guys, we will be here next week, same time, 9 Central.
Will we be here next week?
We will be here next week.
Will we be here next week? Okay.
What is it, the 23rd? Oh, it is Thanksgiving. 23rd. We will not.
It's Thanksgiving week, I guess. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, when is Thanksgiving? The 26th?
25th.
25th. So it's that Friday then.
No. Is it the 24th? Hang on. Stand by.
You're fine. It's on a Thursday then? I'm just trying to
I really don't know. Thursday. Yeah, I believe it's a Thursday.
Okay, so it's the next day. So we probably will not do. Yeah, we probably will not do the show next week. So that's my fault, guys.
That's a Thursday. No big deal. I was just clarifying.
No, you're myself. Good. I'm glad we got it figured out and everybody knows. Cool. And so we will be back on the 30th of November, Wednesday at the same time. Thank you guys for listening. Stacks, you got anything else? No, I do not. Check out your podcast tomorrow. Sports Report After Dark. After dark, we're gonna get a little crazy.
Other than that, shout out to the wife for the sign in the background. She hooked it up this weekend. So
did she do the name? Let me see it. She did the name.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like it. That's awesome.
She did the name with the hashtag. So shout out to the wife for hooking it up.
You got to get it a little bit closer to this. Here, hang on. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna full screen it and see if I can get. Oh, I can see it now. All right, if you got it full screen, you can definitely see it. I just have mine in a little box, so I couldn't see it.
Yeah, it's hard. Yep.
Oh, sweet, I got it now. No, it's good. It looks great. Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to the wife.
Shout out to, and what's her name?
Teresa. Yeah.
Teresa. Shout out to Teresa Stacks.
Shout out to Teresa.
I'm gonna call her Teresa Stacks. That's her last name.
Why not? Yeah, she might as well just change it. Shit.
At this point, you're just gonna make it be that. You're like, no, it's Calhoun. It's Calhoun.
Yeah, it's Calhoun.
It's Calhoun. I demand that it's Calhoun. All right, man.
For sure. All right, enjoy your holiday. Yeah, have a good one, everybody. Buddy. Happy holidays, everybody.
Hell yeah. Let me find this song real quick. I got to play her. There it is.
But I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never ran, sitting on, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.